His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has demonstrated his commitment to revitalizing Ghana's anti-corruption architecture. Operation Recover All Loot, or ORAL, is an effort to send a clear message that corruption will not be tolerated. The launch of a comprehensive code of conduct for all presidential appointees establishes clear ethical standards from the highest levels of government. His commitment to reviewing the 1992 Constitution to make it fit for purpose to meet our current governance challenges is yet another demonstration of the President's commitment to fight against corruption. The appointment of a presidential advisor on the National Anti-Corruption Program, the first of its kind since 1992, represents a strategic approach to coordinating our efforts. This office has identified 5 key areas that will anchor our revitalization efforts, including cooperating between anti-corruption agencies, partnerships with the state interests, and governance authority to ensure integrity, provide assurance of domestic and international communities, proposing legislative and policy reforms, and supporting the Attorney General's office in receiving and processing corruption complaints. We need to engage our citizens. No anti-corruption architecture can succeed without active citizen engagement. Civil society organizations, investigative journalists, and ordinary citizens will be the partners in this fight. The Right to Information Act has empowered citizens to demand transparency, but we must do more to educate all of us about our rights and provide accessible channels for reporting corruption.
The underlying philosophy of the NACAP is the recommendation of the establishment of an independent prosecution authority to effectively tackle corruption. The thinking was that the Attorney General, being a member of Cabinet and the chief legal advisor to the government, is not well suited to investigate and prosecute members of a government to which he belonged. There is still immense force in this thinking, Your Excellency. This was the chief consideration that informed the passage of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, which established the Office of the Special Prosecutor in 2018 as a flagship anti-corruption institution of the Republic with a unique fourfold mandate of investigating corruption and corruption-related cases, prosecuting suspected offenders, recovering and managing assets, and taking steps to prevent corruption. Intended as fulfillment of a campaign promise during the 2016 presidential election process, the OSP is actually the satisfaction of Ghana's treaty obligations under Articles 6 and 36 of ANCAC that requires state parties to establish independent specialized authorities to combat corruption through law enforcement, and Article 5.3 of the African Union Convention. Its outlook is also intended as founded on the Jakarta Statement on Principles for Anti-Corruption Agencies pronounced in November 2012 by parties to ANCAC. Your Excellency, the OSP model represents our best bet in tackling corruption. And upon this architecture, it is a unique and never before seen remedy designed as a cure of the inadequacies of the traditional methods we had previously adopted, which are characterized by the lack of real legal and enforcement powers and independence of action, as the model retains total control over the initiation of the conduct of investigations and the institution of criminal proceedings. Then again, the model affords political neutrality and non-selectiveness in the fight against corruption. For the first time in our history, the OSP model forcefully carries the fight against corruption not only in the province of public officers and public life, but also among politically exposed persons and persons in the private sector. The model is not without its shortcomings, as is suffered by every human construct. Yet we have a golden opportunity to, once again, retool and reshape it to fit our purposes during the current exercise of constitutional review. The underlying philosophy of the NACAP is the recommendation of the establishment of an independent prosecution authority to effectively tackle corruption. The thinking was that the Attorney General, being a member of Cabinet and the chief legal advisor to the government, is not well suited to investigate and prosecute members of a government to which he belonged. There is still immense force in this thinking, Your Excellency. This was the chief consideration that informed the passage of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, which established the Office of the Special Prosecutor in 2018 as a flagship.
You don't have 3 months, you don't have 4 months, you don't have 5 months. Yes, we're in 7 January 2025. 8 January 2025, go after those people. So you see how why Musu party near Musion count over free one movement. Free one when I stand with one when he why? And then I made
swear to God, something will happen. You just watch and see. Don't go anywhere. They shouldn't release him. You will see something. Okay. It will get to a level we will not listen to our leaders. We pray like that. It will get to our level we will not listen to our leaders. Okay. We will let them know that in the MPP we also have the men. We also have people that their hearts disturb them to certain levels. Okay. You didn't see us. Since they arrested him, we are here today. Okay. We know what is going to happen. They shouldn't let him come out, and we are going to see. Okay.
We have the Dramani Mahama. What's wrong? When they find it, what's wrong to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama? We are telling John Mahama that Ghana is a democratic state. Ghana is a democratic state. We have to protect. We have to protect Ghanaians. So, he's a Ghanaian.
Mr. Speaker, I think to me it will be very, very sad that you are here talking. He was expecting you to sleep at Yoko with him. You abandoned him to sleep there. And today, you promised the people of Ghana that you abandon this chamber. You are here making a lot of arguments. Wontumi, you people should tell Wontumi his people are deceiving him. And he's sleeping there alone and they are here. Arguing for more holidays.
Honorable Adongo, are they supposed to sleep there with him?
Mr. Speaker, that is what they made us believe.
Chairman of the committee.
We were surprised when they were sitting on the ground there.
Honorable
but when we went there at 7, they had disappeared.
Yes, 50 million.
50 billion now more canon. 500 billion. The 500 MPC at all. MPC at all. Yemenyeskano. Would you mean a bush your penny? Yatonwa, Obenya Sescano. Eddie John Mahama in Ibrahim. Omukwana was Escano. What you say? It is a say I could to John Mahama. And then Ibrahim was said, one first Escanamra, near to me, you would to me. Aside that, you know, it's a toy and I to me as Escano. I around 7 Nakoso. The bet my and he said, you are sitting from her. Because you can't hear me be Omanako do more. What you say? You bet my.
But it's painful that I would submit a petition for the removal of a Chief Justice. But where the Chief Justice gives me no option by involving himself or herself in the naming of Supreme Court justices, that's just one leg of my petition. The second leg was in the reconstitution of panels. Panels that have already started hearing cases. If you read the Constitution tells us that once a panel starts to hear a case, that panel cannot be changed. In fact, the Chief Justice has no administrative authority over that panel. He couldn't tell them, sit today, or I'm moving one person out of the panel. Because if she did that, and if we allowed a Chief Justice to do that, the Chief Justice will be interfering with the decisional independence of court panels. I mentioned specific cases in which this had happened. I indicated in my petition that I'll bring Justice Jamafe to testify about these things. And then third, I raised the question of how decrees were being used to regulate the courts, contrary to the Constitution. The Constitution says, look, if you are going to issue any directives about how courts should operate, do that with a constitutional instrument, and it specifies an elaborate process. The reason for that elaborate process is because we don't have an imperial Chief Justice who can just do whatever she wants. The Chief Justice is subject to the Constitution, and if you want to if you want to come out with a rule, there's a rule-making process. You have to meet with the Judicial Council. You have to have a constitutional instrument. It has to be laid in Parliament. It has to take a certain number of days to ripe. And then once it ripens, it becomes the law. But the Chief Justice was on her own doing these things. And this is the reason why I got involved. And I thought that if that or those things that she was doing were not addressed in a very fundamental way, we stand the risk of allowing future Chief Justices to do that because of the precedent that had been set by her. There's a reason why from Redu through Aqua to Georgina Wood to Sophia Kufu to Ani Yeboah, none of them ever attempted to name somebody to the Supreme Court because they knew that was fatally and incurably flawed and wrong and unconstitutional and constitutes a violation of their oath of office.
John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. And my friends, this is not a threat, it is a promise. It is a promise which is premised on the wishes of our citizens.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and today is the 9th of June 2025. We thank God for giving us yet another day, as the directive principles of state policy will allow us, definitely, we will be present to look at the updates of the country. Let's go through the headlines of the papers now. And unusually, let me start off with the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times says, at Idul Adha congregation, pray for peace in Boko conflict areas. President Mahama. TDC to deliver 2,000 flats annually beginning 2026. MD. Zoomlion Zanzibar partner on waste management sustainability. Lands Minister rally support for Tree for Life afforestation campaign. Notice of application for deeds registration. Daily Guide. Oforiatta placed on Interpol red notice. Johnny Walker Gov attorney chalks success. Dumso levy oil marketers tangle with GRA. Court of Appeal frees Atai's mechanic. This matter. Mampong Paramount chief goes home, and today we're expecting that the funeral, the actual funeral, will actually kick off in Asante Mampong. The Insights newspaper, Ghana's Green Revolution, Lands Minister urges nation to rally behind Tree for Life initiative for sustainable future. Minister speaks on One Ghana Cedi energy levy, says amount to tackle energy challenges and address NPP's mess. Razak Kojopoku blasts good governance, advocates boss for peddling alleged falsehood over NLA KGL contracts. Towards building self-reliant industrial and export-driven Ghanaian economy, 24-hour office updates public on Mahama's 24-hour economy and accelerated exports development program. Why it's time to consign NATO to the dustbin of history. Sheikh Dr. Amin Bonsu urges youth to shun drug and alcohol abuse, calls for national unity and environmental protection. The Herald. Opoku Prempeh faces $60 million math set contract probe. Bedia True's wife and business partner also cited. Roads Minister sends AG after rogue Indian company to retrieve $30 million Tamale Wale Wale Road project cash. Government outdoors ambitious $30 million Tree for Life plan. And we also have New Job in Chief explores twinning youth initiatives in Germany. power generators back one Ghana city energy sector levy as crucial step to stabilize supply. The informer, Dumsor levy, economists fault government over lack of consultation justifies Bawumia's criticisms. You won't be spared of corrupt deals, mosquito to appointees. Towards tackling filth in Kumasi, KMA expresses optimism about Zoom Lions equipment. Special coming up. Details of Nanayao, Dudu, that's Dr. Sledge, and the MIF cash. Stay tuned. OSP, apologies, OSP panacea to Ghana's corruption fight, Kisi Ajabing. NAPO advises politicians accountability awaits you. The Inquisitor, despite propaganda, IPGG-backed D levy says it is necessary and time sensitive. Stop press. This man is creating problem in New Patriotic Party. Comes with a picture of the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Doctor casts doubts on Ofori-Atta's medical reports. Coming up, Nanaya Oduodu, Dr. Sledge, CEO of Goldrich Ghana, and the MIF cash. The Daily Statesman. Mass protests against Dumsor levy looms. COMAC rejects D-levy implementation. Framer Foundation fights period poverty in Ashanti region. New GIADC, that's GIADEC board, to drive Ghana's aluminium-led industrial transformation. Chief Imam urges moral renewal, global peace. The Ghanaian publisher. Mahama's D-levy rollout. Oil marketers say no to GRA. Minority petitions IGP over Ablekuma North results. Bensel Defemepo chide OSP. And the top right corner has a Black Western Sahara hypocrisy exposed. The Custodian. Bawumia flays dishonest NDC Dumsor levy. NPP MPs prod IGP over Ablekuma North seats. Poor conditions hit Ghanaian Hajj pilgrims. BOG to adhere to zero budget financing, Governor. On the top right corner, we have BOG ignoring 4 billion Ghana cedis positive balance in 2024. Gideon Boako. The Daily Post. Vice President calls for tougher laws, institutional reform, citizen engagement in fight against corruption. Ato Forson will use one Ghana levy to solve the mess MPP left behind. Professor Jampo. Embrace Mahama's 24-hour economy scenario charges Muslims in each Eid message. Let's go to, I think, the Daily Graphic first, and then I'll give you the Business and Financial Times. And Daily Graphic says that contractor abandons Tamale, Sablugu, Walwale Road after taking $29.6 million. Minister. Ace Ankuma advocates establishment of Independent Natural Resource Commission. Zanzibar President expressed interest in Zoom Lions' track record. The big one, build strong character. Sam Jonah tells youth. That's for the graphic. And then the Business and Financial Times. Liquidity control measures cost BOG 8.6 billion Ghana cedis in 2024. Rural banks directors undergo training for corporate governance certification. Henley and Partners Grace Arthur Wings Leadership Excellence Award. TDC unveils 24-hour call center others. And then in the feature we have BNP Association braces UN Global Compact mission, building a climate resilient economy. And then in the feature again we have NIB PLO, a renewal powerhouse for industrial and economic transformation. All right, that's it for the headlines this morning. Let's take a breather. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcate. Happy smile.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Missy Yamfan come and me buru.
Mami do buru. Don't ya tell me ko bra. Mumi Yamfan ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se ban no mpemu adwuma sasabro sro Dr. Ban o ye.
So ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh no mpemu nimdi ono na ye expect nya zanfo no. O akra any Kumasi no mpemu expect yen kan kire.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspections, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friend me once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friend is Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Come tum preko.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from Estate Masters. Currently selling our next cottage located at the newly proposed Airport City with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Pamfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Smart, smooth, interactive, and a built-in Android active panel made for modern work and home. For corporate clients and university students, enjoy top-quality 10th generation Toshiba laptops built for performance, power, clarity, and speed, all in one desktop. At Mycom JA Computers, get a laptop for as low as 1,000 Ghana cedis. All products are imported from the USA with a 1-year warranty. Visit Mycom JA Computers today and elevate your tech.
We are confident, Your Excellency, that you will find the recommendation useful as you lead the resetting.
Okay, you're welcome back to the program now. So let me just welcome my guests into the studio this morning. So this morning we have with us Akosua Menu, who is a former CEO of the Ghana National Youth Authority, and also she contested for the Adentan constituency, a member of the NPP communications team as well. She's joined us here on the platform. Akosua, you're welcome. Good morning to you. And where have you been? How have you been as well? Where have you been and how have you been?
I've been here.
You've been where?
I've been around. I've been watching you.
I'll be here.
I'm in town. We're all inside.
We're inside.
In the GH, yes. We're inside. We're all involved.
We're all involved. Thank you. But Professor Benedicta Ayera-Fosu-Mensah is also here with us. She's a member of the NDC communications team, and she's also joined us in the studio. Prof, anything coming up? Oh, I haven't heard anything from the vineyard. Nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. But maybe something will come very soon.
Oh, hopefully.
Still, there are opportunities.
For both of you, not just for both of you.
No, yesterday I was asking for the office of the mortuary and funeral. the mortuary and the funeral. You know, it's because somebody asked me a question, so I wanted to be sure if a CEO has been appointed here. Because
there's a CEO for that.
Yes. Yeah, in the previous administration, there's a CEO.
Why that, please? There are 4 spots left for deputy ministers. She can get one. Why not?
Oh well, I'm not recommending the mortuary for you.
No,
you can't do it. You can't do that job. No, you are too soft for it. You can't do. You know, we've said that in our setting. There's a culture for funerals. So if we manage it well, we can still generate revenue from that sector actually. So that is if it's managed well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I encountered. There was a situation I saw, I heard of. I spoke with the people involved, and the confirmation was startling. You know, where you have bodies kept in fridges for God knows how long. I think about 6 months. This is not a chief or a queen mother or whatever. Even that thing, even chiefs and queen mothers, we need to find a regulation for it in a way, you know, to decongest our mortuaries. Yes, I think that it really doesn't. And already we have a management problem. We have an administrative problem of how the whole system is managed.
I mean, I think there was a documentary on that some time ago.
Yes.
And it's really, really disheartening.
Yes.
Really, really, really.
Yes. I mean, I've always admired the way the Muslims, you know, do their burial. Once you die, the next day, you're cleared off the earth. And I think we have to, begin to consider. I cannot impose the Islamic religion on other religions, but we need to be able to consider some of these things, especially in the morgues where we keep dead bodies. Some of them, accident bodies, and they are kept for as long as. Sometimes they can't even identify the families. The system is so poor. I
think there are normally a number of factors that contribute to that. Sometimes family disputes, sometimes maybe
the one I actually heard of over the weekend was a family dispute.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not sure, but Akosia, when you appointed a CEO during your time, was he able to do anything?
I don't have that. I don't even remember who was appointed.
I've forgotten his name, but I can check. Because I remember when he was appointed.
The interest in that.
No, that's what she just said that she's curious about. She looks at the economic benefits.
Yes.
But jokes aside, it was actually because of the poor reports that I gathered.
Okay.
Trying to follow up on a few things regarding someone, and I think we just have to pay attention to it. Because we say mortuary and things, people can't be bothered.
So, no, it's not. I think it's more morbid, and when anything surrounding death, we are a bit
skeptical.
Yes.
Yeah, we are not as open-minded when it comes. We even connote, when somebody dies, whether young or old, there's always some other reason ascribed to their demise, and it's not. But if you look at it in private terms, I mean, this wasn't tabled for discussion, but you can see.
So it's Yao Trifo.
Okay.
Yao Trifo was the CEO.
You can see private entities, transitions, for example, Lashibi Funeral Home, they do a good job.
Yes.
And I think they even make the whole process, even as painful as it is, you're not scared or, Because growing up, I think the first time I saw a body lying in state was very traumatic for me. And even some adults avoid it completely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you cannot discount the benefits thereof from funerals and all that, especially in our communities. When there's a funeral, people are happy because foreigners would,
will come in.
And
just that, but it also boosts the local economy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That people will come in and they patronize their drinks, food, but it's still something that we have to look at very well.
We have to, because we have done a back and forth of I don't know, certain rules around it. Some leaders will come and say, don't spend money on funerals, use the money to pay your children's school fees. And then other leaders will come in and tell you, funerals are part of our culture, so we need to, look at that sector and boost it. So we're not sure, even as a country, how to manage it. But for me, my first concern really is the milk.
Yes, I mean, it's something that we need to pay attention to. Looking at the private sector, like Akosia gave an example, like transition, and then also Lashibi Funeral Homes. If modernize it, and you go there, things are more well organized. And I think the same thing can be done in the public.
Yeah, but I think what concerns me the most, now that she's brought that conversation up, is how people prop dead bodies, or should I say corpses.
Yes, the drama around
the drama. If the person was a chop bar proprietress, they put the pestle mortar, and you see it and you don't think it's Ghana. It happens to be Ghana.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them, I saw the guy was he mills corn or something, and the youth were literally playing with his. It could be his friends, but were literally moving his arms up and down. I'm thinking, how do you touch? I mean, what reverence have we lost as far as dead bodies are concerned that people feel it's okay? And I think it's a breakdown of our society somewhat, because those things scare me, and there should be some rules and regulations around it, honestly. Because
it's not even just about the way it even scares you. It's health-wise.
It's
so dangerous.
You have that, and then you also, my two concerns, and it's always been a problem for me. I just didn't know is how we are going to address it, because it's rooted also in tradition. Firing of musketry in 2025 is a major risk, because imagine there's a funeral and you know that important people would be there. If somebody has issues with somebody for whatever reason, it's one avenue for them to show up, and something would happen and there'll be chaos and they would get away with it. Because what is this thing of firing into the air? I went to a funeral once, and just when I was greeting the chiefs and elders, 2 went off, and I think literally my ears just went.
Yes,
it was so scary, and I'm like, what is it about this that we can't do away with? I mean, what really is it? But it's also a sensitive topic, because, as I said, it's rooted in tradition, that if it's a notable person or whatnot, you fire all these things into the air and atmospheres. But I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's something that, if we stop doing, would hurt us. I think we should discuss it thoroughly, honestly.
We're hiding behind culture.
3 months ago, wasn't there a Queen Mother being installed? No, there was some
Queen Mother.
And yes, and a firearm went off, and
she died actually.
She died.
She eventually died.
See?
Yeah.
So
why
why do we have to wait for, because she wasn't notable or what? She wasn't in the public eye.
Yeah.
So who does it have to be? Yes, who does it have to be for us to make a decision that we don't need to do these things again? And sometimes it's almost as if people feel there are bigger problems on the table and not to look at such things. But it builds up.
Yeah.
One time is a one-off incident, the next time becomes a major catastrophe, and I feel that we can certainly do away with it, honestly. It won't serve us. I don't see how it helps us.
We need a whole committee review of it.
Absolutely.
Because we are so good at setting a committee.
Yeah.
But,
but with people playing with cops in public, we need a committee.
Horrible.
Well, so it's something that we really have to look at our culture.
It's crazy.
There are some
There was some that I saw, they were eating fufu.
She was pounding, like they had propped her, like, so she used to run a choba, so they put the mortar and a pestle, and they propped her, and she was sitting in front, and I'm like,
yeah, that's different. There's another one that they were eating. No, they were eating kinky.
And you see,
and they start with him. It's like friends, so they
these
start with him
things,
to eat a kinky.
Growing up, I'd heard about it, but social media has highlighted so many ills in our society, especially when you compare TikTok to Facebook. Maybe my algorithm is more decent, so I don't see certain things. But when you go on TikTok, in the event that one horrible video pops up, then the algorithm starts giving you similar stuff. And I'm like, wow, all this is happening in this Ghana. And we are just watching.
Yeah, I think the health implications are more, for example, maybe cops like, there and housefly goes to land on it. The next one, it's on somebody's food.
When Ebola became a problem, wasn't it because of how were handled?
Exactly.
So imagine there's some virus or something. You go and touch it, and then before you realize there's an outbreak in one area, you can't contain it, and then it becomes a major problem.
Yeah, I think it's something we really need to pay attention to, because I've visited funeral grounds where the corpse is just open, and you see most often old women just there trying to drive flies away and that kind of thing. And just around there, people are served food to eat, so the fly can lie on the corpse, and next minute you are eating and the fly comes to lie on your food, land on your food, and you consume that. So I think it's something that we really need to look at the health implications of,
because I in particular have posted a couple of these videos or pictures. I can't post the videos, but the pictures of it, just to draw the attention of the authority. I haven't seen anything yet, but it looks like we are really underestimating the situation, and we're hiding behind culture. In the name of culture, for want of better expression, to be fooling about. You carry a corpse.
If a culture is not good for us, we need to modify.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm even using culture because, we've hidden behind the culture of funerals. And then we're allowing people to do all sorts of things.
There's no regulation, there's no guideline. Even if there is, what are the consequences of flouting?
Yes,
because
I think the whole of funeral arrangement needs to be looked at. There are also instances where you see what's the name of the people who carry the corpse?
The pallbearers.
The pallbearers.
They will carry it, dance around, throw the person. There was an incident where they threw and then
the thing fell. I've seen the video. We need to
respect to the dead.
That's a corpse.
Something.
This is a corpse they're carrying.
Acceptable,
Take some serious. Gosh.
So assuming the person died out of any disease,
that is,
you can easily get it. The person comes in contact with you, you also pick it, you get in touch with another person, and then on it goes. So
it's authorities are not appreciating, I should say, our level of, want of better expression, no disrespect. I don't want to, use this phrase. What's on my mind? I don't like it.
It's insulting.
It might, it might come across. But we need to appreciate the kind of public we're dealing with, and then know how to apply.
See. So this is another.
So this is the one. There's another one.
This is different from the one I saw.
You don't mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies for those who cannot stand, pictures of corpse and stuff like that. But this is a corpse.
Yeah, she's not.
So she's a Choba woman. She has died, and this is what they have done.
They've done for her.
I won't be surprised if someone will eat that fufu.
I'm telling you, somebody will just
but is it real fufu?
Yes.
Yes.
You see that it's been pounded.
They put the cassava and stuff.
It's been pounded already.
The one I saw was similar to this one. Also, she too, propped up. How do you do this?
Some of this. It's really not acceptable.
I don't think if they
you have not seen those videos, eh?
It's horrible.
Then maybe your algorithm is much more clearer and cleaner than Akosia's own. I'm
maybe
telling
we
you.
need a private members
You will see worse of it.
To push.
Worse.
Wow.
A lot.
I think you have to dig deeper with this issue. Maybe I'll take it up after. I want to understand it because it is
you
not
have
safe.
no idea how passionate I am.
Waiting to
because
happen.
I watch a lot of the time the foreign way of managing funerals, corpses and bodies and things like that. And sometimes the bodies, they don't even allow them on the floor. They have, I've seen systems where they have like a huge fridges where they keep the bodies in, and they're so high up, you can't just reach them. They, by the time they prepare the body for burial, everything is clean at the morgue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
I have always been
I even
worried.
feel those who manage corps should be paid more.
I've always been worried about transition and where it's located. It's really, any time I think about it, I get scared.
What?
Transition.
Oh, okay.
Their location?
Yes, their location. There is, I don't know whether it's a stream. Where it is, just about 2 meters or 3 meters, is a stream. And this stream, I don't know whether now around Hacho things have changed, but previously they used to grow a lot of vegetables around there. And most of these farmers rely on the stream. I don't know whether it's a big drain, but it's a stream. Whether it's part of Densu or say a stream draining Densu somehow, but there's a stream there. And they rely on this water to water vegetables around there. Now you have transition just
by the stream.
By the stream. Yes, I know they will say that they've worked to contain their wastewater, but we know the culture of maintenance here in Ghana. And I've always been wondering what happened if we find some of these wastewater.
I think their standards are higher than the average.
Sure, that
in comparison to what we're doing.
For me, yes, but my problem had to do with the location.
Then maybe they shouldn't be growing vegetables, because when did they start growing the vegetables there?
Oh, the vegetable had been taking place
long
before transition.
I don't know of the stream, but I know it floods. When it rains, the streets are flooded. It didn't used to be that way, but now when it rains, that whole side gets, you can see the water going high up, and if your car is low, you're in trouble, because your engine might literally sputter and shut down. But this, beyond how they handle it, I think that propping corpses to mimic their lifetime careers as a sign of respect.
For that one,
we
don't need any. We just no. The police must just set in.
What would it be that
we don't need anything to stop
show
it?
Somebody was a fufu. How do you call it?
A soba owner or something.
Or somebody was a carpenter, or somebody. I've seen that. It used to. So what I used to, which was funny, was the coffin would mimic their profession. You see that?
Like we saw some fish.
I saw those. Yeah. You see some like an earthenware bowl to suggest that they were local food. So you see something like this. But I don't know what this jata means. What
the best lifetime profession?
Wild animals. Or the person was a fisherman. Those ones exist. And those are the things. But now it's moved to propping them up.
Look at this.
And the person drinks Coke.
Is it?
He was drinking a lot of Coke.
Was a major distributor of Coca-Cola. You see, so these are the things that we need to look at, especially because of the health implications. That's firing on musketry.
Yeah.
Those two.
About the firing of musketry, I think they really also will have to pay attention to that situation. Well, recently there was a video of that. We put it up on social media. We alerted the police, and the police actually went for them, arrested the guys who were, involved and engaged in. I think we need to move on to these areas just for the health, safety of the general public. Is indeed a time bomb, and we need to pay attention to it. Sometimes you raise the issues that people laugh about. It's not a matter of laughing. It's really an area that needs attention for the public. Okay, but it was not really part of our. Just came up, and we decided to get into it. But okay, so we'll tackle D-Levy first, and then we'll get into other issues. Let me capture how the Ghanaian, the papers capture the front pages. So we have the Ghanaian publisher says that Mahama D-Levy rollout, oil marketers say no to GRA. I read this excerpt of it and then I'll move on to the other papers. Oil marketers say no. And it says that the Chamber of Oil Marketers Marketing Companies has strongly objected to the directive from the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, demanding immediate implementation of the new energy sector levy, describing the move as unlawful, abrupt, and operationally unfeasible. In a letter, take note that it was actually supposed to have taken effect today, but the date of taking effect has changed from today to the 16th of the same month, this month. I don't know if it will move again. But in a letter addressed to the Commissioner General of the GRA and signed by the Chief Executive Officer of COMAC, Dr. Riverson Opong, the Chamber expressed utmost dismay at the manner in which the new energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy is being rolled out. The GRA, in a letter dated Friday, June 6, 2025, a public holiday, and delivered to the Chamber on the morning of Sunday, June 8, directed oil marketing companies to begin implementation of the levy starting Monday, June 9, 2025. So it was supposed to start today, but the date has moved. The approach is neither lawful nor operationally feasible. It marks of coercion rather than governance and depicts a military regime, Dr. Opon stated in his response, issuing a backdated directive on a holiday and serving it on the weekend for the next compliance borders on institutional ambush. So the Chamber says that the directive undermines ongoing engagements with the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. According to COMAC, it held discussions with the sector minister as recently as Thursday, June 5, during which it raised 3 key concerns to mitigate the impact of the new levy. These concerns, the Chamber noted, have been completely disregarded. COMAC reiterated that the downstream petroleum sector is already overburdened with 8 existing taxes and levies, making up to 22% of the ex-pump price of fuel. So it said that the introduction of the ESSDRL would increase this to 26%, raising concerns about the industry sustainability, consumer price, and the ability of oil marketing companies to remain competitive. Okay, so let me read here. One of the core concerns raised is lack of time for implementation. The Chamber argued that that its members, particularly those operating on the cash and carry basis, have not had the opportunity to prepare financially or technically for the change, especially in relation to the unsold stock acquired before the directive was issued. Well, that's fair. Now, how are OMCs, most importantly those on the cash and carry system, to generate funds for a tax they did not anticipate on the stock to be lifted tomorrow? The Chamber questioned. So the Chamber has also therefore informed the GRA that its members will not commence implementation of the levy on Monday as directed. Instead, COMAC is requesting a minimum of 2-week transition period, proposing a new start date of Monday, June 16, 2025, to allow industry players time to align their systems, and pricing structure with the new fiscal requirements. When you go into shops today, sometimes people who bought their items in stock will tell you that even though the dollar has come down, they can't bring their items out because they bought it at a certain price of the dollar, so they have to finish the sales of what's in stock first. So mass protests also against Dumsor levy looms, and it says that, see if it's on page 3, page 2. The minority in Parliament is threatening mass protests over what is described as call-outs predatory and economically devastating. One Ghana City fuel levy recently approved by Parliament. At a press conference addressed by the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anadom, the group vowed to hit the streets alongside well-meaning Ghanaians to resist the the midnight imposition of hardship through the back door. Indeed, it was midnight. If you were asleep, I'm sorry, but it was midnight. Yeah. So this is not just about a One Ghana City increase. It's about the soul of the nation. ATO has forced D-levy on us. This, he stated, the levy passed under the Energy Sector Levy Amendment Bill 2025 on June 3, according to government, is meant to raise revenue to address Ghana's power sector debt and ensure a sustainable electricity supply. So it was literally at midnight. But the Inquisition, despite the propaganda, it says that IPGG back D-levy. It says that it is necessary and time sensitive. The Inquisitor is the one that's talking. Let me see if I can capture the story a bit of it. IPP. Okay, so IPGG. It says that the propaganda being pushed by the opposition political parties, especially the New Patriotic Party, against the introduction of the One Ghana City Energy Sector Levy is not working because those who matter in the sector have embraced the levy. For instance, the Independent Power Generators Ghana, IPGG, has extended support for the for government to introducing the levy aimed at addressing the growing and unsustainable debt within the electricity value chain, saying the policy intervention is both necessary and time sensitive, given the precarious financial state of the sector. The IPGG said that it must be stated with clarity and conviction that the current accumulation of debt, now significantly compounded and overdue, was entirely avoidable. Well, I don't expect anything different. We owe them. We always owe them. So, Informa also says that Dumsor levy economics faults government over lack of consultation, justifies Bawumia's criticisms, and is on page 3 of the Informa. It says that economist and professor of finance and University of Ghana, Godfred Bobking, has accused the Mahama government of not consulting major stakeholders before introducing the energy sector levy, popularly known as the Dumsor levy. According to him, government lack of consultation undermines public trust, confidence and support. The lack of consultation and all of that takes a lot from this whole discussion, and the government should take a second look at it, and they should learn from that, because clearly there was no way one could see this coming from the presentation of the 2025 budget, he said on Joy FM News File. So the professor also stressed the need for meaningful dialogue and with the public and stakeholders with introducing such levies with their significant financial implications. And I think that wouldn't really hurt, will it? Anyway, okay, so let's Prof, let me start off with you. So the general notion has been you deceived Ghanaians and took away E-levy and then brought in D-levy, and there's some comparison there. Oh, why are you giggling? Prof. So why did you deceive Ghanaians?
Well, good morning to our cherished viewers, and good morning to my co-panelists. The issue of the One City energy sector levy has become necessary because when you look at our energy sector, we have a lot of huge debt that keeps accruing. In fact, the past 8 years, there's not been so much effort to really solve the problem of the energy sector. And because of that, we have accumulated huge amount of debt. Over the years, we've had instances where the private power producers, some had to shut their plants. Some really protested because government was owing them and they were not being paid for generating power. We saw over the years some doomsaw, though 2016 doomsaw was resolved, but as time went on, we began seeing our lights going on and off. And this, we were informed, was as a result of debt in the sector. I remember very well that there were proposals of even trying to exchange gold for oil just to, solve the issue of fuel within the energy sector. Now, this 1 cedi became necessary because, as I indicated, there's been some amount of debt, over 40 billion Ghana cedis, and this needs to be cleared. Fortunately for us, we've seen price of fuel at our pumps coming down. And so fuel at in January, for example, was 16 Ghana cedis plus, 16 point something for a liter. This morning, it's selling for 12.9, some places 12.8 cedis per liter. And so if government is saying that the energy sector is burdened with debt, and this debt needs to be cleared. This debt needs to be cleared because once they are not cleared, it means that we would have instances of power outages because we are not able to really meet our financial clearance to get the service that we really want. And so the 1 cedi is just an amount that government is trying to accrue so that we'll be able to pay our debt. And so if every Ghanaian is willing to pay 1 cedi extra, we will be able to accumulate about 5.7 billion in a year, and this will be used to clear the debts that we've accrued over the years. That will mean that we would be able to meet the energy needs, because once you pay your debts and then also make funds available for the private power producers, there will be more power, and we would see, of course, businesses booming, because we know how businesses are affected because of maybe lack of power. The good thing and the timing is good in the sense that we've seen our cities appreciate over the months. We took it from 16, now it's about 10.8, 10.9. I haven't really checked this morning, but as at last week Friday, it was around 10.8. So if we are seeing the cedi appreciating, that would also trickle down in the sense that prices of fuel is coming down, and that would also reduce the burden of people spending extra money to buy fuel. So I think that it is not an instance that the government wants to burden Ghanaians, but Ghanaians have already been burdened by the NPP government because they've accrued a lot of debts that needs to be cleared. Now, these debts, no matter how we delay it, have to be paid, because we are owing somebody and we need to pay. How do we get the money to pay? So for me, this 1 cedi has a specific function that is supposed to be used for. So it is not money that is just collected and kept in a pool, but it is money.
In fact, it says the authority said they will ring-fence it.
Yes, so they ring-fence it, and it's directly to solve the issue of debt, to clear the debt, and also make energy production sustainable. If we do not want to see our lights go off, I think every Ghanaian should really embrace this, because, as I indicated, we are paying far less than the actual price of energy being produced. Like you said, the debt is not factored, or the amount of the cost of fuel is really not factored into pricing of electricity. Because if we are to do that, then it means that our electricity the rate or price would have gone up by 50%, and that would have been more burdensome to the ordinary Ghanaian than the paying of the 1 cedi. So as I said, the payment of the 1 cedi is not as a result of a government that is just willing to burden Ghanaians, but it's more of it's more of a strategy to rather solve a problem that the NPP have created. They've created by accruing this amount, and we've seen videos of how ECG, for example, imported so many materials that they really didn't need, and all these add to mismanagement, because you've brought in goods that you've not been able to clear, and then you've ordered for more, and these keep on, piling up. All these add to the mismanagement and also the debt that the energy sector is having. And so I see this strategy as a visionary strategy to clear our debt. And as I said, the timing is good because formerly we used to buy fuel, it went as high as 23 cedis per litre. Today we are buying at 12. So if you add the 1 cedi and you are still paying at 13 cedis per litre, you are still better off than we were when we were buying fuel at 23 cedis, 17 cedis, and even 16 cedis just in January. As I said, it is not the desire of any government, and for that matter, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government, to burden Ghanaians. But this is something that is staring at us. We are talking about
how do you address the comparison? How do you address the two issues? That okay, you come in and you make it look like okay, e-levy is a burden on you, so we're taking it off, and then you bring in something which we now term D-levy.
The e-levy was not meant to look at to pay off energy sector. These are two different things. I think people should not look at it like, oh, it's like you are giving something and then you are using your left to take it back. I don't think that is the case in this scenario, because we have an issue at hand. We are talking about crisis within the energy sector. And I think the energy minister came to inform Ghanaians about the debt and the challenges within the sector, to the extent that the time the NDC administration took over power, if not for a strategic move, I'm sure we would have had power outages in the country for some number of days because we didn't have enough fuel. And it is so because of the amount of debt that have accrued over the past 8 years. So the e-levy was not directed towards the energy sector, but this is something that is directed to the energy sector. And as I said, it is not like money that is being taken to maybe benefit some individual, but there are debts that needs to be cleared. If these debts are not cleared, what will happen is that the private power producers may protest and will stop power production. And we know if these people or these important power players decide that they are no more going to, produce power, what that means for us. So for me, it is an issue of solving a problem that was created, a problem that the NPP did not take steps to resolve it before they left office. And the NDC needs to do that in order for us to have a sustainable power in our homes, in our industries, and then also in our offices. And I think we should all embrace it because, as I said, the timing is good. Today we are buying fuel at 12 cedis. So if you just add 1 cedi to that of the price of the litre, 13 cedis, though it's money we are losing, but in a long run, it's going to benefit us because we are going to clear our debt. And clearing the debt would mean that more power will be generated. We will not have issues of doomsday that we have seen over the years. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is determined to bring this country
You're just about 5 months in government. Is it... And you keep saying the timing is right. I've read it on the front pages that you said the timing is right. Is it because of the pressure of the energy sector we're under, or because I was looking at the export prices are going by what the exogenous factors are, how they're going. That's why we have, fuel prices going down. It's affecting us positively. However, don't we, or are we not preempting or projecting that there's a possibility of maybe the prices going down further, so that we can also drag it a bit? If it's revenue that you want, we can drag it a bit, wait for it to maybe go down further, or we can't risk it.
No, it is not about, when I say the timing is good, I'm not saying that, what I'm trying to say is that in January, we're buying fuel at 16 cedis per litre. Today, we are buying fuel at 12 cedis per litre. So if assuming the price was still 16 cedis per litre, and they are saying that let's pay additional 1 cedi per litre, it means we are buying it at 17 cedis, and the ordinary Ghanaian will be affected, because we know that that fuel affects virtually everything. Because once the price of fuel is high, the price of transportation will go up, and the price of goods and services will also go up. But today, price has come down. So instead of paying 16 cedis, we are paying 12
Which price
cedis.
has come down?
Oh, the price
fuel
of fuel, fuel price have come down.
Occasioned by what? What made it come down?
It has come down because the city have appreciated. The city have appreciated because
what prices
of
have
the
come down?
We have fuel. Sorry, we have foreign fuel prices. What prices have gone down?
Per barrel to
so that's what has
$40.
affected us.
So that's what is affecting the price of fuel. It's not the strengthening of the city.
Please hold on.
Okay,
just hold your
my turn will come.
You know, there was some time ago that the world price of fuel was down, but Ghana was still paying very high price for fuel. And this is because at that time, the cedi to $1 was very high. So the importer said, even though world price is coming down, but we cannot reduce our price significantly because the dollar at that time was very high. So you buy the goods in dollars, and then you sell it out in cedis, and you need a lot of cedis to go and buy the same dollar. So at the end of the day, though the world price was low or coming down, but the price in Ghana was going up. And it was because the cedi was performing badly at that time. So yes, we are seeing the reduction, not just because we are seeing a reduction in the world price, but because we are also seeing an appreciation of the cedi, which we should praise the NDC government, that young as they are, they have done this magic. And this shows how His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's government is working hard to make sure that Ghanaians really enjoy what we refer to as true good governance. Governance is to make sure that the people that you lead really have relief. The people that you lead, enjoy the benefits, of resources that we have in this country. And we are already enjoying it. We are seeing price of fuel going down. Price of food or food prices are coming down. And the ordinary Ghanaian, I would say that our savings are increasing because the amount of money, yes, we spend on food would have gone down. The amount of money that we spend on fuel per month would have also gone down. And this is a savings to us. And so if, again, we are saying that we as a country do not have a sustainable means of generating power, because what we pay for electricity is actually not the true price of what is used to generate the electricity. And I say pay extra so that it is not even towards the production of the electricity, but to pay off debt that have accrued, and also make the energy sector more sustainable. Because if every time you have to go and borrow to pay power producers, you have to still pay your debts, and then you come back and the amounts or the true price of that energy production is not really what is being sold to Ghanaians. So we are getting subsidy. That subsidy has to be paid by somebody, or the amount that has been reduced for the ordinary Ghanaian has to be paid by somebody. And that that somebody is a Ghanaian. And I mean, it's the government. And where would the government get money? So I think that, yes, government is doing something good by making sure that our city is appreciating, and so prices of goods and services are coming down. We have debt that needs to be cleared. And this debt has to be cleared by the government. But where do we get the money? So say, just pay 1 cedi. And that 1 cedi is refinancing, and it's used to clear the debt. And so I don't see it as using rights to give something and then using your left to take it back. It is not the same as e-levy, and Ghanaians should bear the government up. I think we should all support this government, because 1 cedi would not hurt, especially when we bought fuel at 13 cedis because of at 23 cedis because of the mismanagement of the then NPP government, because they couldn't manage our city well. So price of everything went high. In this country, during their time, we saw inflation going as high as 53%. And so they cannot be the ones crying today that we've ambushed them. NDC took away e-levy and they have brought in energy sector, or increased the energy sector levy. No, it is because they have created a problem that needs to be solved.
Right. Akosia.
Prof has shocked me.
You're lost forward.
You know, I'm just, you know, I when I was listening to her, good morning to your viewers. I don't think I've said good morning. I said good morning. We just launched into a very morbid conversation to start off the morning. We've send them images that will disrupt their breakfast. But I'm listening to Prof, and at first I said, is this speaking notes that she's been given, or she actually believes what she's saying? When she went on, I think Prof actually believes that what she's saying is true. In summary, what she said here this morning is that 1, the NPP created the problem, and 2, the D-levy, and guess what? Gen Z is calling it devil levy. That the D-levy is no worse than E-levy.
They're calling it what?
Devil levy.
Oh.
Now let me say this. If we sit here and make this 1 cedi tax per liter, and it's not 1 cedi that everybody is paying and making it look like it's just 1 cedi, no. It ultimately is almost 4.5 cedis per gallon of fuel. That's what it is. This deliberate attempt to shove 1 cedi narrative on people to make it look like it's a one-time payment, or let's say you are paying 1 cedi a month. It's a very deliberate brainwashing, gaslighting that you guys are doing. And Prof, you are bigger than that. Don't get caught up in it. Now, let me just say this. In 2015, when the energy sector levy was first introduced, this was under John Mahama season 1. In 2015, when it was introduced, 2 parliamentarians, including Kwesi Kwarteng, went to court to have it overturned. The court's ruling was that that particular tariff shouldn't be added to the cost of fuel prices.
The price build-up.
Do you remember? This was 2015 under GM1. Now we've come full circle. Ghanaians say, away bus. We are shoving you out of the door because of the things that they said, including not exempting, demonizing e-levy. Made e-levy look the worst. E-levy was limited. E-levy didn't have a cascading effect as D-levy. But you made us feel that e-levy was bad, despite stakeholders' engagements, despite town hall meetings that the then Minister of Information, together with his team, went around regions having dialogues with the public, despite other stakeholders saying that at least give it a threshold. To which then former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia saying that he didn't think that it was something that we had to embrace. But if we're going to do it, then give it a minimum threshold of what, 100 cedis. And do you remember this? There was consultation, there was dialogue, there was an openness about it. People resisted it because of the vociferous nature at which you targeted that particular levy. Now, I'm talking about 2015 because the introduction was to mitigate the cost therein as far as the energy sector was concerned. At the time, it was 20 pesos. It was 20 pesos at the time. 2016, Dumso had become a part of our life. Dumso was debt management. It wasn't capacity. To which you saddled us with 32 contracts. 32 contracts such that, Annie, as we are sitting here, for some reason the lights can't stay on. The owner of the media house says, you know what, we need to fix the problem, have stable lights so that we can always have good content for our viewers. You don't need to have blackouts. So as a result of this, your minister of, your manager in charge of energy here decides that I'm going to acquire 32 generators. And you say, oh, but as far as our capacity consumption is concerned, maybe we need just about 3 or 4 more. But they do 32. Guess what? The 32 is a contract that no matter what you are doing or consuming, you have to pay. That was how the energy sector debt ballooned to $2.5 billion when you were leaving office. That is fact. Now, when we came into power in 2017, the World Bank, together with government, sat down and developed a repayment plan. Because World Bank said, guys, yes, you had Dumso. Yes, the previous government was desperate. Yes, they've saddled you with debts that is going to really knock off your economic recovery. But guess what? If we stick to the payment schedule that the contract that they've signed, you're going to be paying close to $12.5 billion within 6 years. So from $2.5 billion, that was the legacy debt they saddled us with. The experts, World Bank, government sat down and said, let's mitigate it so that we reduce that 12.5, okay, that you ultimately pay. And guess what? In the last 8 years, even as at 2020, I was looking for that data here. When we got to 2022, even despite the prices, there was, yes, I'm looking for it here. Direct transfers to government was projected to be 17.8 billion. But during the mid-year review, the projected half-year projection of 2.8 billion turned out as 10.6 billion. So even though the plan was to make 2.8, they actually recovered 10.6 without increasing tariffs to 59%. There was 59% increase in tariffs in 2015, ECG. Do you remember? 8 years that Akufo-Addo was in government, we never saw an increase in tariff beyond those high levels.
Why?
Oh, first of all, we are talking about debt management. You are managing it. Subsequently, you are meeting the demands, so you are not burdened, you are not pushed to force extra taxes on the consumers. Even 2022, I remember now the Minister of Energy, John Jinapor, saying that pushing taxes to consumers was unforgivable given the times we're in. Do you understand? This is what he said. And now he is in government.
Given the times we're in.
He said, well, he wasn't given the times when he just said that it was ridiculous to do it. But guess what? Annie, at least, if we'll be honest, in the first 6 years of Akufo-Addo's administration, inflation was good. Taxes, we had abolished taxes. We hadn't introduced taxes till we had COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war. You know this. It was a challenge that we didn't love. But even if you mock it here, when you cross the boundaries of Ghana and you go and have conversations at Chatham House, you admit that COVID-19 had its impact. When you go and sit at conferences, now your ministers, they go and sit and they highlight the challenges that Ghana faced at the time. This morning, I'm shocked to hear Prof say that we caused a problem. You left it at 2.5 billion in 2016. We came to power and managed it, serviced the debts. Now you have to find a way to keep paying the debt. What the real issue is that.
What's our current debt?
Current debt. They put it at 3.1 billion.
It is.
Or
you don't believe it?
No, I'm just saying that even if you are saying that you are putting at 3.1 billion, the legacy debts have been reduced considerably. It could have been, that's what I'm saying, Annie, if we had left it to what they had put there. Well, if you are saying I'm lying, is the World Bank lying? It would have gone to 12.5 billion. Then what would they have done? Now, in the price build-up.
Because our problem with the energy sector, and it's factual.
Look, the problem
is the fact that
is reforms.
We were able to manage.
Reforms.
I'm sorry, they were able to manage the power fluctuation because we were not paying our debts.
That's not true. If you say that, it was if you are coming back to a conversation of doom, so is back because you are not paying our debts, then I have a challenge with that. Because when they came to sit in front of us and put the budget in front of us, was that conversation had?
So because the conversation was not had.
How do you do a budget for the year and come and sit down and 3 months later under the cover of darkness?
Let's tackle.
You introduce
let's tackle that issue because there's been, the backlash now is because stakeholders are saying we were not consulted. In fact, I've spoken to a couple of committee members asking how come we didn't hear anything about this, and it was just suddenly, introduced.
But are you not surprised?
And that is, like I'm saying, that's a conversation that we can have. But it doesn't take away the facts of what really the problem was. If you read here in this document published by Joy, it says that due to non-payment of bills owed to Eni and Car Power, the World Bank International Development Association guarantee of 512 million United States dollars, and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation guarantee of 120 million US dollars were completely drawn down.
Please, let me give you an answer. Your energy minister is saying that the one city.
Energy minister.
Energy minister. And I hate to say, the one city irritates me because it's 4.5 cedis per gallon. That is what it is. The 4.5 cedis per gallon, as you buy more gallons, you pay more taxes on it. The limitation that she made in ring fencing the tax to make it look like it was 1 cedi across is disingenuous and is dishonest. That's why I'm saying that as a professor, she has to ensure that she sticks to the facts. At least e-levy had a threshold. The challenge with this, if indeed it's a debt that we are supposed to pay, do you understand what I'm saying? If it's debt that we are supposed to pay, there's no sunset clause. Annie, to say that, we are projecting that within 5 years, it will knock off the debt and will take the burden off the Ghanaian. There's no such thing.
But we've projected how much to raise within the year.
But there's no end in sight. Give us an end in sight that if you made your calculation, then
that in that 6 by well, I've heard it wasn't a sunset clause, but it was a projection that in about 6 years we will be able to clear the debts.
Listen, I'm saying that these people, the settings governments that we have now, 2015 they did same. There's no innovation in this. It's let's just throw it at them and let's do it early enough because we have goodwill and the people won't complain. Today I was listening to the radio. At stations, some have increased prices. And their unions are saying that when we are increasing prices, it has to be a consensus that this is how we are increasing. You can't increase and others will keep the prices the same. It's chaos. Beyond transport fares, it's on gas as well. People cook. We are transitioning to clean energy. You are forcing people to use other options to reduce cost. So I'm asking you that if you think that e-levy is what you are saying, then you have no idea what de-levy is. Because it's goods and services, ultimately is inflation. You told us that, you know this thing of, the fuel prices were down. You have nothing to do with the price of fuel now because the world price has reduced. In the event world prices go up, what are we going to see happening? It's going to impact on the economy once again. So just be
But honest. That's why she said that if your city is strong, you might be able to...
No, she gave it accolades as if they had engineered the pricing of fuel to come at 12 cedis. But she knows that when it goes up, there'll be a challenge. Secondly, why do you introduce something, fast track it on a public holiday, and spin so much PR around it, when you couldn't even stomach the idea that e-levy was a conversation, even down to Parliament? The conversation was had there. You forced Ghanaians to believe that it was the worst thing ever. To the point where we saw parliamentarians, some of them are our friends, holding each other off in a way that was so embarrassing. I have friends across Africa. People were sending me the link. Hey, Ghana.
In the E-Levy fight. Can we have that video?
Ghana. I worked at NYA. We went for conferences within Africa. And one of the things that when Ghana is mentioned, people look at us with pride.
Yeah.
Like, so, the Kwame Nkrumah people, they'll say free SHS. They knew the policies that we had implemented.
They said free SHS.
Oh, yes.
On the international front.
Yes.
Hey.
But didn't you, in the last 8 years, presidents of Senegal, there were at least 3 heads of states who came to Ghana. And they were interested in what we were doing as far as free SHS was concerned. Our former education minister went to Kenya to even consult Educhum. So you can mock it, but Africa's biggest challenge also has to be with education. Educate the population and things will improve. But when we are educating people, you can't. As I'm saying, she wears the tag of a professor. Come to tell us that we caused the problem. When you started the problem as far back as 2015, introducing that tariff, now you've padded it and made it more. 95 pesos was the build-up tax in the cost of fuel. Now it's you are saying 1 cedi. 1 cedi to a liter. It's not 1 cedi per month. It's not 1 cedi per day.
But if you introduce, if you increase export prices, you actually calculate it by the liter, not by a gallon, not by a month, not by a year.
Yes, I'm saying that they have made the conversation such that it's a 1 cedi one-off.
A liter.
No.
And that is how we communicate fuel prices increase.
Maybe you are saying that here. I'm saying that across board, there's a deliberate attempt to make it look like it's just 1 cedi that people are paying. And it's not true. It's actually 95 pesos was on a tax build-up already. 1 has been added to. It's almost 2 cedis on a liter. That is the actual tax on a liter. That's what you have to understand. So you are saying that you are adding 1 cedi. That's what it should be. But the actual tax on it is almost 2 cedis. And it is not limited. It has a cascading effect on goods and services and ultimately inflation. So if we are going to sit here and be comfortable that somebody snuck a tariff at midnight, they've literally held a gun to our heads. We woke up in the morning and saying that everybody has to pay. And it's all, and you know the worst of it, Annie, nobody has apologized. Not the rank and file of the NDC, not the chairman, not the president.
Let me ask you this question.
Nobody has said that in
did you
4 months ago, when the finance minister spoke about not increasing energy tariffs, what he said at his vetting, he has subsequently reneged on that, and they've introduced this ruthless tax. You told us that the economy is bouncing back. CD is strengthening, and me, I'm happy because at least Annie, all the shoes that she buys is in dollars. So now Annie needs less CDs to buy dollars. I know Annie, I've seen. So she's happy. Ato is forcing. Everybody has a reason why they are happy that the CDs.
The dollar is very low now, so if I use dollar to buy shoes,
you give me some money. I'm in opposition, so give
now
me
it's
some.
okay to use dollar to buy shoes.
You give me some. But my point is, it cannot be. No, it cannot be. Let's be. You see, you cannot demonize a group of people and make them feel like they are the worst thing to have happened. Do you understand? And then turn around and do worse. When I'm speaking about government issues, I hesitate because there's a lot that has gone down the drain as far as public trust and public appeal is concerned when it comes to the NPP. And 90% of it is a propaganda that was led by the NDC while in opposition. That today, they can introduce a tax they've introduced before and increase its margins like this, and we have to accept it without consultation, without stakeholder engagement. Even their own party people are surprised. Even their own party people are surprised. But they are forced to defend because they have no option. There's stakeholder engagement that you read a piece from, what's that organization?
The GRA and the...
There's GRA, there's COMAC as well.
Yes.
And COMAC's letter was pretty strong. It was strongly worded.
Oil marketing.
Because
they are the ones who had the letter issued to them on the holiday, directing them to, work with a new directive.
The holiday. It's the most difficult thing is highlighting the ills of this government, because everybody wants to point out something the MPP did. Even if those things that they claim we did, on hindsight, they are realizing that it wasn't as bad as it was packaged. This transport fares are going to...
What wasn't as bad? The MPP government?
No, she was saying that she was saying we created a problem in the energy sector, forgetting that that problem was started with them, and we managed it at best. And I'm saying that if you indeed want to fix the economy, okay, or you are saying that you are doing something magnificent, when the cedi strengthened, fuel prices have come down, and it hasn't resulted in an immediate change in prices of goods and services. Where you buy food, the price is the same, right? Let's say one of my guilty pleasures is aduane, right? They are check. Every now and then, the pricing point is not bad, but they haven't reduced their prices, because the understanding is that prices or that stability doesn't last for long. So if they reduce the price, by next week prices go up, their profit margins are done, and then they are struggling to stay in business. If you want to actually see, or let Ghanaians feel the impact, then the prices should have stayed where it was. That introduction should not have happened. What you rather need is discipline in ECG to make sure that the revenue collection, in 2024, we moved from 400 million cedis to 1 billion cedis. Stay on them to make sure that these meters and all these issues that they have, the generation capacity of ECG, which is not commensurate with the revenues they get, should be checked. The reforms that have constantly been pulled out in these sectors should be followed to the letter, so that you are sensitive to the plight of the consumer, the ordinary Ghanaian, so that we will feel the impact of the lower prices on the world market, which is translating to 12 cedis at the pump. Let us at least enjoy that break. But no, you think it's very wise and very smart to introduce this, because it's a fantastic way to generate money for them to do their own things that they did way back in 2016. So it wasn't a problem caused by us. We managed the debt. Dumso was debt.
So you don't accept
Dumso
that?
was debt. It wasn't capacity.
Okay, Asakusha, you don't accept that we weren't paying our debts. You don't accept that we didn't even have liquid fuel, cost adjusted in the price build-up. The tariff structure that we have, liquid fuel that we use, the consumption, we didn't have a component for it to pay.
You can't keep liquid fuel for 8 years.
You can't do it.
You can't keep liquid fuel for 8 years.
You don't have to keep liquid fuel for 8 years. You always have to import them. You also have to get them.
I do not submit to this narrative that we didn't pay our debts. If you met a legacy debt of 2.5 billion, and if we understand how ECG operates, how Gridco operates, how we consume fuel, how energy is distributed, how there was excess capacity, but you are not even using that excess capacity, but still paying for it. That debt didn't just lie there.
A contract you continue.
It means that we had no option. We actually renegotiated. In fact, you know that was one of the things that the Kufuor administration did when they came to power. So the $12 billion, that ultimately would have been what we paid over time. Legacy debt, if we hadn't serviced the debt, would have at least been 10 billion when they came to power. At the barest minimum, it would have been at least $10 billion. But what did they have? They are telling us that's 3.1. At the Kufuor's last SONA address, he said, I met it at $2.5 billion. I've kept it at $2.5 billion. Do the math, Annie. If indeed we didn't service the debt, you will literally be over $10 billion in debt. That way, instead of midnight, it will be done when they will push 5 Ghana cedis per litre down.
How did you do the math to get to? We would have been at $10 billion if we hadn't serviced.
How did you do the math to say we hadn't serviced our debts? How do you do the math to say we hadn't serviced our debts? Give me the payment schedule and payment plan to say we didn't settle our debts. Look, I can forward this to you. This is a paper on debt service management. And I reiterated a point here that mid-year review, where the targeted half-year projection, this was in 2024, was 2.8 billion. We actually met it, we actually knocked it off at 10.6 billion. So the reckless borrowing, which has been the tag by them, is false. And even if you feel that, if you want to accept that gaslighting narrative, that they didn't service debt, if you want to accept it, is it the case that you do not consult stakeholders? Is it the case that there's not a roundtable conference to sit down and decide? But you want to use the same tactic you used in 2015, where you slapped 20 pesos, which later went to 95 Ghana cedis, and today you've added an extra 1 Ghana cedis to it, which is almost 2 cedis per liter. Come on, Annie, it's not fair to the people. I feel hurt because we have to speak up and defend ourselves, but ultimately, all of us are not exempt. This is not a specific tax for a group of people. We are all going to feel it. From the pump to our restaurants to our homes, everybody is not exempt from this tax. The next pricing we know, we'll see what impact it will have on it. If the unexpected should happen, it's going to be a problem. If oil prices go up, if the dollar strengthens, we know the issues in America right now. We know the Trump's big bill and the impact on tariffs and all the issues he's had. We've seen him have a meltdown with his best friend. We've seen the impact, a single tweet impacting on their wealth.
That's what's affecting
and we are
our
sitting here.
city,
making it stronger. What is affecting the city is the dollar depreciated.
That's why we're having our city strengthening.
Yes, the city is strengthening, and we are saying Ato is forcing. That's what we are saying on the streets. That he's doing something unique. If you ask
it's no more. It's no more the measures put in by the NPP government.
Absolutely, it is. But at the end of the day, they are in power. So if you're in power, when there are the pluses, you accept it. So that when the negatives come, you also embrace it.
Okay. So this one says, I believe the NDC is not helping itself by engaging widely and educating Ghanaians on the levy. The levy is not new, but rather an increment from 49 pesos to 1 Ghana cedi, 1.49. And that is why there's also the criticism that it is a more than 100% increase. Why so? Now, that's why the bill to increase the levy is an amendment to an existing law. Secondly, education must be indicate when procurement of fuel is estimated to end, and how long will it take for the debt to be liquidated. That's also, we need to see the end point of this so that we know how we can clear the debt. As for politics, the opposition will seek to make political gain out of the issue. But it's amazing how they are behaving as if a new levy has been introduced, comparing it with the e-levy. E-levy lacks all the ingredients of taxation, which they themselves admit to.
What are the ingredients of taxation? Who sent? You read it.
Oh, you are.
It's okay. Read it.
You are underestimating the weight of the person that sent it.
It's not the weight of the person. I said, what grammar is that? That e-levy lacks the components of taxation.
Let me read e-levy to you. What was captured on the Finance Committee's Finance Ministry's
what does it mean
website?
To say that when the levy has a cascading effect, transport, goods and services?
You see,
what is this person saying?
So e-levy, this is what they said. Why has government decided to levy electronic transfer? This was written on the website of the Ministry of Finance. E-levy was to enhance domestic tax mobilization and expand the tax base. 2, to provide an opportunity to everyone to contribute towards national development. So you have it now.
And e-levy is what? Read the, and the difference. Give me a difference between e-levy and e-levy. And e-levy is what?
To raise revenue to clear our debt.
That's not what the energy minister says, is to buy fuel.
But it is the ultimate goal.
Then why did you increase electricity tariffs to 14.5% and water by 4%? Why? What was that increase in tariffs supposed to do?
Okay. Okay, let me just go on so I don't answer questions plenty. In e-levy, it says that e-levy lacks all the ingredients of taxation.
If you increase electricity by 14%, and now they are saying this one CD that Prof has tried so well to sell to us this morning, does it mean they still have to pay electricity bills?
Okay. Okay, my answer is in my head. E-levy lacks all the ingredients of taxation, but they themselves admit to. Their computation of 8.3% is also alien to financial reasoning and therefore disingenuous. Moses sent that in. Nana Komia, good morning to you. He says hi to you, Akosua. He's watching us from Kumasi. I'm sure he's there for the Mampong Hennes funeral. Nana, you've been missed. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well.
He was just sending a hi.
Yes.
A hi back to him.
He just sent a hi. He just sent a hi. So, Sam from East Legon, Sam Kelly East Legon says, good morning. Annie, can you please let Madam Akosua tell Ghanaians what they did with the loan they took on the ESLA fund after collateralizing it until 2035? You can't mess up the system and at the same time be seen to be kicking against measures that another government is trying to put in place to solve it. No matter how painful it may be, Ghanaians know who serves the interest of the nation better.
Update the person on the 2035 that he's talking about. ESLA is no longer collateralized. The Minister of Finance wrapped it up on March 2025 on the floor of Parliament. There's a paper.
That's because this government took that decision to wrap it up.
Exactly.
It doesn't take away the fact that you collateralized it until 2035. The person is not wrong, Akosua. The person is not wrong.
Again, we are talking about the introduction of a tax, which needn't be.
Okay, let me finish.
That is what.
Let me finish. Okay, I'll take a breather.
If you bring in ESLA,
okay, hold on.
And you are saying that they no longer collateralized it. What was the purpose of rushing to do that?
Okay.
When in effect that was already in the price build-up at the pump.
Okay, because let me do this. This one says that the strike, and this is important. The strike by the midwives and nurses is just political. I'll have it from Haruna Shaman. So the nurses who are on strike are actually now doing full circle strike.
You wait till they see that the transport fares have increased. The nurses, they use public transport, most of them.
Honey,
you wait till they see. Then
it's going to. You are timing her because
I just want to allow her. No, I just want to allow her because they are the ones countering your increment of.
When I'm making submissions.
Okay, so this one says that.
That's how she.
Good morning to you, to Annie. I humbly wish to find out whether the 1 cedi increase on fuel prices is 1 cedi increase on
per liter.
Per liter, yes.
Thank you.
I humbly wish to find out whether the 1 cedi increase per liter is new levy. It's not. It's just an amendment. Okay, an amendment to an existing or ESLA as a tax handle or on that existing levy. And in that regards, as in ESLA as a tax handle, you're asking that question. This is because Otabawumia described the e-levy Pro Max. Government described it as e-levy Pro Max. Government communicators must come clearer on this issue as pragmatic and possible without delay. Thanks. Prosper says that, Annie, good morning. It's interesting how smart and intelligent my beautiful Akosua is in opposition. Clap for her.
Who's that?
Prosper. So they have hedged and collateralized ESLA. And she's not ashamed to say that the government's, ashamed to say that her government met the debt at a certain threshold and maintained it there, irrespective of measures like ESLA to defray same. How weird. So she asked what the increment in water electricity will be used for. Akosua.
That's a dishonest text message.
Okay, Akosua does not know how much debt they have accrued. Come on. I'm reading in your tone. Prosper.
Prosper should delete. Tell him to unsend that message from you.
Oh, it's not possible. I've read it already.
Your DM.
So
there's no confusion as to what.
Edem Agbana has sent something on the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill, the memorandum. So that is, of course, the amendments. He sent the full details, which, of course, I cannot read it all. But he says that Akosua Menu party took us to IMF, signed a deal that says there must be a quarterly adjustment of utility tariffs. She is here asking why utility tariffs went up. It's a question. Okay. I'm sure the question will hang.
Yes, I'm asking why it
Henry
went
says,
up because let me answer him. He's sitting
there's
in
quarterly
Parliament.
adjustments agreed upon with IMF.
And he's sitting in Parliament. So asking that question is ridiculous because when the D-levy kicks in, his constituents will bear the brunt of it. Okay. So if energy tariffs have gone up, if electricity tariffs have gone up as they should be, because as far as I'm concerned,
it's an IMF agreed
beyond IMF
arrangement.
agreements as and when. I mean, PURC had a multi-year tariff system. Put it that aside. You can't, and I'll be shocked if he, as Edem Agbana, believes that his government, of which he's part of the majority in Parliament, accepted to slap 1 cedi per litre, which adds the build-up to 2 cedis per litre on fuel.
Okay.
If he is comfortable with that, he will have his constituents to do with that.
You can't be responding to every message. So let me take a breather.
I pick my battles carefully. I wanted to respond.
Okay, I'll take a break. I'll be back shortly. Doc, sorry, Prof, when I come, I'll give you the chance. I'm sorry. I even have some more messages to read, but I'll be back shortly.
Car Center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwainso Nyonko Papa.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Dabio. Ready? Hey, baby woman. Ah, Ajay. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, what uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At to phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
Na mom hwe na ndadanya waso mosquito coil esudu wo mu no mu. Na say spray wo dan mu so a, twan sima adronum ansa na akodan no mu.
Enkrato FDA smart, smooth, interactive, and a built-in Android active panel. Made for modern work and home. For corporate clients and university students, enjoy top quality 10th generation Toshiba laptops built for performance, power, clarity, and speed, all in one desktop. At Mycom JA Computers, get a laptop for as low as 1,000 Ghana cedis. All products are imported from the USA with a 1-year warranty. Visit Mycom JA Computers today and elevate your tech.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Where to get Polytank?
Oh, and you're fine.
Go straight.
Oh, I want for left, right.
That's right. Ghana na ye wono. So we nim dwom a na ye data. Who knows? Abe, na here. Me pe Polytank ato. Enu nti na me nua ba yo tu pe bia be na ba hayo. O fu pe bia e de entwa ye kura.
Akuya bulambo kotoman. Emu ha.
Like they took my eyes. Go to the distributor and you give the original Polytank. You get a sound?
Polytank. Papananka Sankasa.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Choco toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from Estate Masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed Airport City, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Park Hills, located at Panfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Welcome back to the program. Akosua is bringing water on me.
I have to cleanse it.
She says I should come back home. I've gone too far.
It's cleansing. I have to, like,
Henry,
the spiritual
Henry
from try to rationalize C-levy and D-levy.
Henry from Koforidua says that, Danny, the one Ghana City levy, do hash. Let's all support. Okay, let's all support to end the huge indebtedness of the energy sector. Together we can solve the energy problem for now and for our future generations. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Henry from Koforidua said that in Ani Madam Akosua Menu is still not told Ghanaians this morning what they did with the loan they took the ESLA on for. Okay, Akosua might respond to that. Musa says that, Annie, honestly sickening to witness the MPP shouting over the amendment of the energy levy. Let's not forget, under the watch, fuel prices skyrocketed to unprecedented levels, reaching as high as 17 pesos per litre. Now, yet, under the prudent and responsible leadership of the Mahama administration, petrol prices have dropped significantly to 11 cedi per litre. So now government proposes a modest adjustment of 12 cedis per litre to help clear the crippling energy sector debt, and MPP will be left behind. Suddenly, they are organizing demonstrations. This is nothing short of political Annie, Akosua is underestimating professorship, and you shouldn't allow it. But e-levy is neither a tax or consumption, nor income, nor capital gains tax. It is not. It also not equitable. Once the 49 pesos has been collateralized and the money used in advance, how can the debts be paid if an additional levy is not introduced? Also, when 49 pesos was levied, $1 was 4 cedis. What 49 pesos can buy then, 1 cedi can't buy now. Please read to Akosua. I've done that. Thank you. Prof, I'm sorry I took, or Akosua took most of your time. No. Yes.
If Akosua was part of the NPP government when they were in power, when she was speaking, I kept wondering and asking myself, is she just pretending for politicking sake? What did I say? Or she's really, what did I say? She means whatever she's saying. She used some words. I just want to highlight reckless borrowing by NDC. It's difficult highlighting the ills of this government. And I'm just saying, really? What is Akosua went about ahead to say that should even benefit you. I'm a professor and I'm here trying to defend an increase or an increment of 1 cedi on the litre. And I kept asking, can I reiterate my comment so that you separate your... No, you can't. Really I can't. No. With what she's saying. I mean, was Akosua not in this government, in this country, when things were so difficult to the extent that fuel price, diesel, went as high as 23 cedis, I mean, 23 cedis per litre. Was she not in this country? I kept asking myself, Akosua is trying to, put some information out there to let it look as if it's unheard of. We talked about 1 cedi per litre, and she is trying to convert that to a gallon. How much was a gallon of diesel in this country? Why am I converting to a gallon? Nobody goes and says, Mommy, 1 litre. 23 cedis. How much was a gallon? Prof, nobody says, Mommy, 1 litre. How much was a gallon of fuel 1 gallon. When petrol was at 17 cedis? Look, you see, these people are very good at throwing jargon and words out there because they did it in 2015, 2016.
Yes, but they also say that you didn't give room. But they also say you didn't give room for negotiation, for stakeholders to also have a say I mean, to have this discussion. I mean, that's the reason why you're having a lot of
She did not even
backlash.
highlight on that, oh, there should have been consultation.
I did.
And
I stated it that
she said that
it was
they did
past
not
midnight.
have any debt, and that I was lying. That NPP did not leave debt.
They said they kept. She said they kept the debt at where they met. They managed it.
That wasn't what I said. There's a footage here. We are live on TV. Even the comments that came in, they didn't retrace that point.
NDC in 2016 saw the wisdom in establishing ESLA to help clear the energy sector debt and to also cushion the sector when issues come up. What did they do? They collateralized ESLA and went in for more loan. What did they do with the loan? This NPP today, that Akosua is here attacking me and trying to let Ghanaians believe that the NDC is not a good party, or the governance or the policy of increasing the levy by 1 cedi is evil. These same people, when they were in power, borrow so much to the extent that the poor workers.
Oh, they said it's called the devil. Akosua said it's called the devil levy.
They decided to go and take this money by having haircut. These same people, and you ask Akosua, was she in government at that time? Was she in this country when people who worked hard saved their money because the then finance minister and the NPP benefited when Ghana borrows? They borrowed and borrowed and borrowed as if there was no tomorrow. And anytime they borrowed, some people benefited. Now it made us to go to IMF, not just going to IMF as we normally go, but we had to go to IMF with a painful experience where we had haircut. Was she in this country? Today, we are saying that fuel price have come down as from 16 cedis per litre just in January. It's now at 12.9 Ghana cedis per litre. And we said there are debts that needs to be paid. Pay additional 1 cedi. So that 1 cedi will be used to clear the debt. Now you come here and say that I am defending that, a professor is defending that. Where were your intellectuals when we went to IMF? Where were your intellectuals when the ordinary Ghanaian, when our grandmothers, our parents had to go and picket in the finance ministry because they took their money they worked hard. There were people who left the shore of this country and went to work, and they used their savings to buy government bonds. They lost it. People could not buy medication, their BP medication, their, how did they call it?
All kinds of diseases.
All kinds of diseases.
In fact, people died.
They could not, people died because of the actions and inactions of the then NPP government. Today you sit and say, because of 1 cedi, NDC government is a bad government. You are being wicked to Ghanaians. What are you talking about? And you attack me that I am defending it. But why won't I defend it? When you left,
then why are you upset that you are defending it?
You left this country in a very bad state. We were paying fuel. Whenever you are in traffic, you'll be looking at your fuel gauge. We saw food inflation going as high as over 50% in this country. And you were part of that government. You enjoyed it. It was okay. Because at that time, you were giving fuel coupon. You didn't feel it. Today, just 13 cedis, you are crying. And you attacked
fuel coupons were even suspended for a while.
There are problems that need to be... Look,
but
if Ghanaians will bear us witness, if Ghanaians will bear us witness, the people who attacked us, they attacked us for trying to solve Dumsor in 2015, when we brought in a lot of power distributed, we brought in car power, we brought in, I've just forgotten the names, but at the end of the day, what did they do? They even took it to the Ashanti region, their stronghold. And today, they sit and say that because we are saying pay 1 cedi for us to solve the problem within the power sector. But I know Ghanaians have tasted wine and they have tasted water. They know the difference between wine and water. NPP portray to be a government or a party that when they come to power, they will solve the problems of Ghanaians. We saw the mess they created. They did not just go to IMF, but they went in ambulance. We saw the ordinary Ghanaian who worked hard and saved money and bought bonds, lost everything because of the reckless borrowing of this government. We saw that in 2016, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama solved the energy crisis of Dumsor. They came back and brought it back. Today, we have huge debts within the energy sector. I think it is just fair that people who have worked and made life better for us today needs to be praised instead of being condemned because of the fact, because of issues of politicking. I think Ghanaians have gone beyond this issue of propaganda, this issue of deceit. We would no more buy into these things. Today, if you buy a liter of fuel at 13 cedis, you are still better off than you were when you were buying it at 17 cedis and at 23 cedis respectively. Today, you are still better off if you go and buy $1 at 11 cedis than you would have bought it when it was 17 cedis. And so the issue of what has NDC done to make the city to appreciate, sometimes I get marveled that for 8 years, somebody who had economic background, who was sold to Ghanaians that he was an economic risky and he was coming to better our city, could not bring the city to even 10 cities for 8 years.
You said nothing.
And today
you said
we
nothing.
took the city from 16, we are at 10.8, 10.9, and she is telling us that NDC did not do it. Let me tell you what NDC did. NDC established the Gold Board. Now, what the Gold Board did was just like Cocoa Board. The Gold Board became the sole purchaser of our gold, which means that it was an offense for an ordinary Ghanaian to smuggle or to send gold out of this country. So Gold Board buys every gold that is mined in this country, and we sell the gold. We then bring in foreign exchange, and for that matter, there will not be pressure on the city. Dollars are made available for businessmen and women to get, and so people will not go to black market and buy dollars in a high price. And for that reason, there is no pressure on city because dollar is available. That brought the city down. That is the vision we are talking about. This is a government that dreamt and had this vision and has implemented it. And today, though world price fuel has come down, we would have put it still at a higher price because if the dollar was $1 to 17 cedis, if you imported, let's say, oil, just for explanation's sake, at $1,000 per whatever consignment you are bringing, that $1,000 times 17 cedis, that gives you the amount. But today you are talking about $1,000 times 10 cedis. And so if you are saying that you do not know or NDC has not really done anything to bring the city down, then you are either not understanding our explanation or you are refusing. But all we are saying is that the NDC had a vision to establish Gold Board, and for that matter, people do not have that right to smuggle or to sell gold out of this country, and that is one of the major reasons. And that is the policy direction that NDC
all right,
has.
but this one says that Tafami has said that, Annie, okay.
I need to
ask Akosua if you don't increase some of the levies, especially to our energy sector, then how can we get ourselves out of the mess? Akosua's government's left behind Adentan, left behind what? Okay. You're enjoying opposition, that's what you're trying to say. Your message is not so clear.
Annie, I think the whole, if Prof was listening when I spoke at first.
My time is up so quickly.
Yes, it was because she is either being dishonest to the facts of how the crisis in the energy sector began. from 2015 when you first introduced that tariff.
That's when the crisis
subsequently
began.
to 2016 when you saddled us with 32 take-or-pay agreements for the loans that we cannot pay, which subsequently we were able to service. If you are asking why we collateralize ESLA, we had to meet the demands of creditors. And those creditors were paid. They are all here. And you sometimes, and if I want to send you these things, it's like you can't be bothered to use it to reinforce or give to the producers to show that, in fact, there's enough information on how much debt was serviced.
Have you sent and I haven't projected?
Oh. When I send you,
have you
project,
even
people are
before?
Sending to you privately now, and you are not.
Did I show you who has sent me anything?
So again,
Adam Agbana sent me something. I didn't project it.
That you are offended that I attacked your professorship. I didn't attack your professorship. I said, as a professor, you should not be oblivious to facts. You cannot sit here
what does that
disregard the context, the times, the offense which the government here now in 2025 committed in 2015.
Okay.
And subsequently saddled us with contracts that we were burdened.
All right. Look,
in 2017, when we came into power, the World Bank sat down with government and said, if we do not handle the mismanagement of the previous government.
Okay. Time is up. So let me end this here. All right. So I'm grateful for your time. We're back to...
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedientia de ya fugia ne aduane saasro pintin bi aseda ome de ye di koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modem so won fifre so ne nya bidio na so bate aseman Ghana mu a akuafo akoya abo apupo